in Oxford confidence. They're now going to begin testing this vaccine on 600 human subject candidates starting this week. And they say if everything goes well and if they get regulatory approvals, they will have a vaccine ready by September. Now, let's assume all goes well and the vaccine is ready from Oxford in September. It will still take about 6 months before we manufacture mass doses, and we need billions of these vaccines in order to make it available to almost every human being on Earth. So how does that happen? And that's where India comes in. Now, India has quietly been the manufacturer of the world's vaccines. India has dozens of companies across the country who manufacture vaccines for polio, for meningitis, for pneumonia, for BCG vaccine, for tuberculosis, rubella, and several other diseases. Now, one of these companies is the Serum Institute of India, which is based out of Pune. It is the largest manufacturer of vaccines in the world. It makes 1.5 billion doses of 20 different vaccines, and it's priced at about 35 rupees a dose, which is the cheapest in the world. And because it already has this base and infrastructure, it's able to, and it has a head start to manufacture the Oxford vaccine before anybody else. But here's where it gets interesting. The Serum Institute of India has announced that it is going to begin manufacturing the Oxford vaccine in May, without waiting for the trials to complete and without waiting for regulatory approval, so that when the regulatory approval does come in September, they would have already built up their supply and they're built up their manufacturing to make 50 to 100 million doses by then, so the world doesn't have to wait 6 months after September to get the vaccine. Now, here's the trick. If for any reason the trials fail and the scientists have to go back to the drawing board, the Serum Institute of India will incur huge losses. Losses that the CEO of the company believes will be worth it. Now, in an interview to the New York Times, Adar Poonawalla, the CEO of the Serum Institute of India, has been quoted saying that he believes that because this is not a listed company, he has the ability to take the risk because they don't want the world to wait 6 months for the vaccine. He has also said that when the vaccine is manufactured in bulk, it will obviously be Indians who will be top priority to get the vaccine. But after that, he will leave it to the government of India to decide which countries will get doses, how many doses, and when. But it's not just the Serum Institute. Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech has announced that it's in a partnership with the University of Wisconsin-Madison and US-based firm FluGen to make 300 million doses of the vaccine for global distribution. Zydus Cadila is working on 2 different vaccines, and we have other companies like Indian Immunologicals and Mindvax that are also developing vaccines each. Now, vaccine research and manufacturing has never really been a priority for big pharma companies in the West because it's largely demand from third world countries and there isn't a lot of money in it. There's no pricing game in vaccines. India, over the last several decades, has built a sort of expertise and a quiet capacity of manufacturing large doses of vaccine for the entire world. It's this capacity now that might make India the savior of the whole world from COVID-19.